Hey, welcome back, Math Gurus. In today's video, we're going to classify rational numbers. So rational numbers include whole numbers, integers, and then of course, rational numbers. And so for 6th grade, that's all you include. And when you get to 7th grade, we'll add natural counting numbers. So your whole numbers are what you started learning in elementary, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Integers are your whole numbers and their opposites. So for your integers, that's your positive and your negative whole numbers. Okay. Rational numbers are anything that can be written as a fraction. So I like to tell kids it's your fractions, your decimals, and your percents. However, the b cannot equal 0. Okay. Let's go ahead and make some connections to real life, and then we'll see how it applies in our math class. Okay, so if I ask my students, hey, where's your school at? And they say Texas, it's true, it's not wrong. And then if I say, well, can you get a little more specific? And they say, well, it's in Brazoria County. Brazoria County is a county in Texas, so that's still true. So it's not that it's not true, but we just got a little more specific. And then if we're like, well, we want to get a little more specific than that, it would be Manville. So all of them are correct, but the most specific is Manville. So when you classify rational numbers, you want the most specific. So you're looking for the center, and in 6th grade, it would only go down, it would only have this included in a Venn diagram. So let's see how it connects to a math classroom. So here are the numbers that you're going to place in a Venn diagram, and you're only allowed to use it in one place. So you have 10 over 2, and so most kids like to put that in rational numbers. You're like, well, it's a fraction, and the denominator is not a 0, so it has to be a rational number. Okay, well, you simplify 10 halves, that's just 5. That's just a whole number. So you're going to put your whole number 10 over 2 right here. And then, yes, 10 over 2 is a whole number. It also can be an integer, and it's also a rational number, but the most specific would be a whole number. Now, negative 1/4. Now, that is a fraction. I'm not worried if it's a positive or negative. Positive or negative fractions, decimals, and percent can definitely go into rational numbers. And you simplify it, there's just 1/4, that's it. So it goes into rational. Now 5.0, I call that a fake decimal, just like 10 over 2 was a fake fraction. Most kids think, well, there's a decimal. We're not looking at how it looks. We want to put it in the most specific. 5.0, it's a rational number, and it's even an integer. But the most specific is a whole number. So we're going to put 5.0 or 5 in the whole number. Now, 6 over 4, that does simplify to negative 3 halves. And if you went negative 1.5, either way, those are all equivalent. And so our fractions, decimals, and percent are going to go in the rational number section. And like I said, it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. A lot of times kids see negative and they automatically want to throw it into the integer section. So negative 3.0, that is the perfect example of an integer. And so we just a negative whole number is where it would go for integers. 0, well, that classifies as a whole number. So it goes right there. 3.3, and if you notice, it's positive, so we're going to put it in rational. Now, I'm going to add a couple of more. So if it was 20%, okay, percent is out of 100. You know that from charging phones or laptops or devices. Percent's out of 100. Now, when you simplify, that's 1/5. So 1/5, that's a fraction. So 20% would go here. Now I'm going to add one more, and I'm going to do square root of 25. The square root of 25 is 5. Okay. Squares, if you remember, have 4 equal sides. So if the area is 25, my side length is 5. 5 by 5. You don't have to know it. A lot of kids come in knowing that from elementary. So the square root of 25 is 5. And so if the area is 5, the side length is 5. You don't really have to know that yet, even though a lot of kids come into junior high already knowing. But just, I need you to know that the square root of 25, maybe it's a bonus question on one of my quizzes, is 5. So you have to ask yourself, where would you put 5? You would put it in whole numbers for 6th grade. If you were in 7th grade, it would not go into whole numbers. Square root of 25s. So any perfect square would go into whole numbers for 6th grade. So let's recap. Rational numbers are your fractions, decimals, and percent. It's irrelevant if it's positive or negative. Integers are positive and negative whole numbers. But if it's a positive whole number, you would place it in the whole number section because that's more specific. Now your whole numbers, 10 over 2, 5, 0, square root of 25. Those are also integers. They're also rational numbers, and all of these are real numbers. However, you're looking for the most specific. Now I'd like to show you where you're going. In 8th grade, this is where you end up at. If you notice, we added natural numbers. This is a 7th grade math concept. And so that's where you would learn about your natural counting numbers. I like to call those Elmo numbers, 1, 2, 3, so forth. Irrational, the best way to explain it is if someone says you're irresponsible, means you're not responsible. So if it would be not a rational number. All right, well, I hope this helped clarify any misconceptions. Thanks for watching.